What's up, Barbell Nation? Dr. Zach Long from thebarbellphysio.com here. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk a little bit about how I like to warm up for squats and what I have a lot of my athletes do when they're getting warmed up. First of all, for me specifically, I tend to be an overextended athlete, meaning my lumbar spine is usually an extension, my pelvis is usually in a little bit of anterior pelvic tilt. So I like to start with a little bit of 90-90 breathing with hip internal rotation. This exercise I learned from Dr. Quinn Hinnock, who follows some of the Postural Rehab Institute stuff, tends to do very good for getting me set in a more neutral position and opening up my hip internal rotation, which really helps me hit rock bottom of my squat a little bit better. So as you can see here, I start laying on my back with my hips and knees bent to 90 degrees. I lift my butt off the floor about 1 inch, and then I take a big breath in through my belly, trying to fill my belly with air before my chest rises, and then as I exhale, I'm actively trying to push my rib cage down. After I do a few cycles of that, I actually go and then take my hip and go actively through internal rotation. And this combination of breathing plus internal rotation tends to really clean up my hip internal rotation range of motion and get my pelvis position much more neutral so that I can hit depth of my squats better. After I do that, my next favorite exercise to go to is the Goblet Squat. The Goblet Squat, having that weight out in front of you really helps you sit further back into the squat, so you load your hips up a little bit more. And for me, as a quad dominant athlete, that little bit of shift to let me sit back more really helps grease the groove for my squat and get me a little bit more recruiting my hips, my glutes, and my hamstrings in the squat. Finally, I like to wrap it up doing some jump squats. Getting a little bit explosive out of the hole with squats really primes your central nervous system and gets you ready to push some big weights. After I hit those three things, then I'm usually getting into my warm-up sets with a barbell on my back. All of my warm-up sets I do exploding with the barbell, trying to make every rep of the warm-up as fast as possible. Again, trying to prime that central nervous system, get me ready to hopefully hit some PRs. Hope that warm-up series of squats is helpful for you. Let me know what you think. Give it a try tonight, and hopefully you'll be doing some heavy squats soon, because heavy squats fix everything.